All right, guys. So I still haven't gone to work. It rained today. I fell asleep instead. Just woke up. Yeah. So let me just talk a little bit about some of the stupid stuff I heard people say about Sean Porter. And it's always derogatory when it's a black fighter for some reason. I was listening to barbershop conversations, and I'm glad that at least Fred acknowledges the skill and just the overall game of Sean Porter. But what Fred needs to realize is Sean Porter been using that skill and having that game way, way back, y'all. I just watched at Sean Porter versus Adrian Broner. Of course, I watched before at Sean Porter versus Kell Brook. And Sean Porter does, of course, fight specific sort of strategies and tactics, but he always had that game. He always had that game. It's a little bit more refined. The Kell Brook fight, he was a little bit more wild, because again, Kell Brook was holding a lot. Adrian Broner fight, Adrian Broner was holding a lot. The commentary was biased as fuck with the Adrian Broner fight. What's the sad thing about Sean Porter? He's always been counted out. The man has a lot of skill. They call him a street fighter and all of that. I even heard them say make it into a street fight. That's not what Sean Porter is. He's an inside fighter, not street fighting. He's inside fighting. Please get it right. He's an in fighter. All right? Get it right at least, man. So that's one of the stupid things that people say. He's a street fighter or make it a street fight, fight the dude. He's not fighting the dude. There is strategy behind what he's doing. He and Kenny Porter. He's an in fighter. Look at most of his punches. They're body shots. Yes, Sean Porter, just like Errol Spence, goes to the body religiously. All right, that's why opponents, they continuously try to tie him up, including Errol Spence. Right? I was listening to the Adrian Broner fight, and Adrian Broner, they were saying Adrian Broner couldn't time him. They couldn't find his rhythm. Sean Porter and Kenny Porter borrowed a lot of things from the old school kind of boxers. Floyd Mayweather was one of those guys, and I'm going to use Floyd Mayweather's name, who did some of those old school things. One of the things Floyd Mayweather did was stay in shape all year round. He didn't get in shape. He didn't do what we call training camps. You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to get in shape for a training camp. No, he was in shape all year round. Sean Porter took that to the next level with Kenny Porter, and they in shape all year round. But he kind of fell off of it after he had his girlfriend and the baby and stuff, and he kind of was out of shape for a little bit. Errol Spence, now we hear Errol Spence saying, man, I need to control my weight. I need to be in shape all year round. You hear Errol Spence saying that. Sean Porter obviously was in shape all year round. Anyway, let's keep it going. Sean Porter also doesn't let fighters get his rhythm. Floyd Mayweather, you can't time Mayweather because you just don't know what he's going to do next. So Kenny Porter and Sean Porter, I'm not saying they borrowed from Floyd Mayweather those things, but I'm saying that, wherever they got that information from, the same information they got from Floyd Mayweather. Probably maybe Kenny observed some things from Floyd and said, I'm gonna pick this stuff up. Floyd always in shape. Sean Porter's always in shape. Floyd can take a punch. Sean Porter can take a punch. But you're not gonna punch Sean Porter. This is another misnomer that a lot of people have. Sean Porter's heart and his chin is what helped him to win the fight. No. Dude got defense. Lots and lots of defense. All right? Errol Spence was winging them left hands. He was winging those jabs. And Sean Porter would be under them. He'd get under those jabs. He'd get under those right hands. He would get under the left hooks. Right? You saw him roll under and spin out. And next thing he turns the tables on Errol Spence Jr. This is something Sean Porter been doing all his career. Get this smoke. What's up, dude? As you can see clearly, there was no knockout. There was a knockdown. Technically speaking, there was a knockdown, but it was no knockout. So I just want to show you guys a little bit of art here. I find this very beautiful. Okay, and like I said before, I broke down Sean Porter. Unfortunately, Get This Smoke, I couldn't do the commentary for Sean Porter versus Kell Brook. I had so much I wanted to say. But every time I recorded, the recording cut and it just went blank. And so I tried, and I just couldn't get through with it. So I just stopped. So there are a lot of faulty information out there, Yeah, man. That was a gorgeous shot. Porter was out, then recovered mid-air. Yeah. His recovery time is ridiculous. His recovery time, you saw his eyes roll up in his head, and then he just snapped back to it, and that's because he have ridiculous recovery time. He just barely touched the canvas with the hand, and so you gotta give, that's a 10-8 round. I mean, the ref could have let it go. It's happened before. You remember Floyd Mayweather versus Zab Judah and so on. But I mean, it is the technical. You know what? He wobbled him. That's what I can tell you. He wobbled him. Errol Spence wobbled Sean Porter. But Sean Porter has been knocked down before by Adrian Broner again in the final rounds of the fight, and mainly because there are times where Sean lapses in his defense. And Errol Spence was desperate, and he was just going for the fences, and he caught him. Same thing. That left hook, Sean Porter keeps getting hit with the left hook. Even against Keith Thurman. Even against Keith Thurman got caught him with a left hook. Sean's been getting caught with that left hook. He always keep that right guard down a little too low. Like he was, in this case, he was bobbing and weaving. He got low, and then he dropped his hands as he was about to throw his left hook. Right? He was about to throw his left hook, and he dropped his hands, and that's where Errol was swinging his left hook, and Errol caught him. And Errol was just teeing off. Errol was really trying because Sean Porter was winning that round. Anyways, I'm going back to some of the misnomers with Sean Porter. Shout out to Get This Smoke. Get This Smoke says, I think Zab was on Floyd's foot. Yeah, it was a balanced shot, but he hit him. Floyd ran right into Zab Judah's punch, and Floyd stumbled backwards, and then he put a hand down on the canvas. So it wasn't just a balanced shot; it was an actual shot. And Zab's shots are sharp. So Zab knocked him down. But Floyd still ended up winning the fight. I mean, was what it was, but I mean, Get This Smoke, right hook from Errol. Right hook from Errol. What right hook? No, that was a left hook, man. That was a left hook. It was his left hand he hooked Sean with. That put Sean down. It was a left hook. Go watch it again. A left hook. And Sean just barely touched the canvas, but man, the ref was on that and counted him. And Sean was like, let's go. Because Sean didn't actually get knocked out or sense it. Yeah, it was a left hook. Yeah, Sean keeps on getting hit with left hooks late in fights where he should not get hit with a left hook. It's a lapse in concentration he has. And of course, he was dominating the left round. The 11th round was landing a lot of punches on Errol Spence, which was amazing to me. And Errol just came back with that. And as he was coming in, and the way how that even happened was beautiful because Sean was actually down low. And Errol still caught him with a short chopping left hook. It was good. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. I'm not gonna lie. But I want to just talk about some of the H Money owes you is here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He does. I've been calling his ass out. He ain't saying nothing to me. Come on, man. It's boxing, man. I've been trying to explain to people. And like I said before, and I've tried to say it again and again and again to people, Porter's not a guy you can knock out. He'd probably go through his entire career and not get knocked out. And it's because Porter does so many different things. I was trying to explain to people he's very skilled, which leads me to the next stupid thing that people have been saying. I hear people describing Porter in a derogatory term, talking about his herky-jerky style. You want to know what herky-jerky style is? Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is herky-jerky. But herky-jerky just means that you're using a lot of feints. So Porter uses a lot of feints. He'll feint you 1, 2, 3 times, and I can demonstrate some of them. And I'm going to demonstrate some of the guards, okay? Hold on one second. So, let me go orthodox for a second, all right? Sean Porter will be here. In and out. He's in and out. Now, this is called the extended guard style. So I got my extended guard here, right, out here, okay? If you throw a punch, okay, if you throw a punch at me, I can catch it down here. If you throw a punch straight at my face, I can parry it off here. So if you throw a punch to my body, I can catch it here, okay? It's called the extended guard. Now, they use it in the amateurs a lot. And that's one of the stances Porter uses. Another stance he uses is, of course, the usual shell. Catch it here. Parry it here. Catch it here. Shoulder it here. Okay? Another stance he uses is the extended guard here. So he's here. Right? And he likes to use this guard as well. Floyd Mayweather style. Just the double guard down, head in front of you, because he want to do something like this. Or the shotgun jab. Well, I can't show you it because I'm too close to the camera. Hold on. Okay. Get this out of the way. Shotgun jab. So I'm out here. Okay, so that's what he wants to do, right? Notice I changed head slots before I came in. I didn't come in off a straight line. I changed head slots, slipped the punch, and then, right? So Porter does a lot of things. Ooh, that burned a lot of energy. Porter does a lot of things that are interesting. He get low. He knows how to spin out because he's short. He uses his small, compact size to his advantage. That's why Spence couldn't match levels with him. Porter still get lower than Spence. Even when Spence tried to change levels and get low, Porter could get lower than him. And let him roll out. He was getting below Spence's hooks. He was rolling out under the hooks, turning Spence. And you also noticed Eric Bradley was talking about how Spence would have the advantage on the inside, pivot into the outside of Porter on his weak side, and land punches. Well, what would Porter do? He would pivot with him, and then pivot around him to get the advantage. Then he'd land his shots because he has quicker feet as well. When Porter skips in, he's skipping, and then he could skip in off the shotgun jab, etc. He could skip in off the spear jab. I saw him throw a couple spear jabs. He also threw uppercuts. Of course, when you're inside fighter, you throw a lot of hooks. He was very successful at hooking around Errol Spence's high guard. And I think a number of people were talking about Errol Spence mainly uses the high guard as his defense. And you would see Errol Spence put the high guard up as he's moving backwards because Porter pushed him back a number of times. Porter, from what the different fights I've seen, whether it's against Kell Brook or against Adrian Broner, Porter's a guy who started fighting you off the back foot. Don't get it twisted. He ambush you and turn the tables on you, and next thing he's the aggressor, landing a whole bunch of punches on you, overwhelming you. That's what he do. He swarm you. He's like a swarmer. He overwhelms you, gets right up in your chest like Henry Armstrong did, and he starts throwing a lot of punches on you, to the body and to the head, and he just goes. He throw 8 punches, 9 punches, 10 punch combinations. He just keep going like a buzzsaw. And so that's the thing that makes Sean Porter so, and he has some pretty good body shots too. So like, for instance, I'll demonstrate. I don't know if I can actually demonstrate this for you. People say, oh, this is another misnomer that they got. So first of all, he's not herky-jerky. All right, you guys need to stop saying that. That is a derogatory reference you guys are using, trying to diminish his skills for feinting you and then getting on the inside. He's very quick with it. He feints you, gets on the inside. He's not a street fighter. He's an in-fighter. He's not the most accurate in-fighter in the world, but most in-fighters are not very accurate. You have very few who are like that. Errol's very accurate with his in-fighting. But Errol's like the creme de la creme of that. You know what I'm saying? He like top tier. Canelo Alvarez is another top tier in-fighter. Most in-fighters are not that accurate. Not even Leo Santa Cruz is that accurate. You know what I'm saying? So when people start going in on Errol, I'm telling you guys again, you need to focus in on not Errol, on Sean. Sean's pretty accurate for his infighting, okay? And he does land effective punches, and he did hurt Errol Spence. And in fact, some people would say this was his best performance. I wouldn't say it was his best performance. I've seen better. Against Adrian Broner, I think he was a lot more Um, I think he performed better than this performance particularly, but I would say this: I think it was cleaner. I guess it was also in a lower weight class. Broner did put him down as well, but he dominated that fight. That was not a split decision win. That was a unanimous decision win that Sean Porter had against Adrian Broner. So he's looked better than I've seen him in this fight. But again, the competition was better as well. Errol Spence is the number one welterweight in the world, and once again, Sean Porter taking on the number one welterweight in the world. He took on Keith Thurman. Now he took on Errol Spence. Keith Thurman had some moments where he rocked Sean Porter, but Sean Porter has very quick recoup time. Errol Spence had his moment. I think Keith Thurman had more moments of rocking Sean Porter than Errol Spence did. Errol Spence had one or two moments where he snapped his head back, and then of course he got that drop on Sean Porter. But Porter always known for a beard. He has a good chin. You're not gonna really catch him with two punches clean, one after the other. You generally catch him with one punch, so he can take that. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Roberto Duran. Sometimes a fighter would snap his head back, but Duran would keep coming. He's got that same veracity, and it's amazing how people put down Sean Porter. I guess again because he's black. If this was a Mexican or Roberto Duran, keep coming in your face, they would praise them. It's the skin color, I guess. And then the fact that people are very derogatory towards him, even in spite of his amateur and pro record, people call him a dirty fighter and all these stupid things, which he's not. In fact, there's another thing I heard that was very stupid. I heard people saying that Errol Spence started hitting Sean Porter low. He started low blowing him because Sean Porter low blowed Errol Spence. I went back and I watched it, and that never happened. Sean Porter, of the two fighters, Sean Porter was a cleaner fighter. Errol Spence was landed, and I know it was deliberate. Errol Spence was dirty. He was dirty, and it was deliberate. He was doing it until he get away with it, until the referee warned him, and then he stopped shooting low. Errol Spence threw 15 to 20 low blows on Sean Porter between rounds 2, 3, and 4. All right? 15 to 20 low blows. It was just disgusting. The referee allowed it. All right. Adrian Broner was able to forearm Sean Porter, hit him behind the head, pull his head down, all right, numerous times in this fight with Sean Porter. And the commentary team was trying to rationalize that. Of course, Sugar Ray Leonard did not rationalize it. In fact, they were saying how it's such a close fight all the way through. I was listening to commentary. I was like, what the fuck are these people talking about? The people have this bias. And when you have a bias, you're going to say all kinds of stupid ass shit. Errol Spence was the first dirty fighter in that fight against Sean Porter. And the thing he accused Sean Porter of doing? He intentionally did it. That's what makes him dirty. He intentionally, and he never got deducted a point. He was warned finally, very hard by Jack Reese. But he was the favorite. He was the favorite going into the fight. You're not going to go against the favorite. This is the kind of stuff that Sean Porter had to go through. He never complained. He never said nothing. He let the ref handle it, and he just fought on. And that's some serious qualities right there. He got my respect for that, right? And Sean never tried to low blow back Errol Spence, which was amazing. He just went to the body like a religious freak, And Errol never had experienced that, right? And then Errol was weighing down on his body. And then later on in the fight, somewhere around the 5th round, Jack Reese finally started to speak to Errol Spence about that. All right? So who was really being dirty? And it was intentional. It was intentional. Now, it's all fair game. It's a fight. But I'm just saying, I'm making a point. Errol Spence accused Sean Porter of being dirty. But look who was really being dirty. You know what I'm saying? So I find a stupid thing. Some people saying, Sean Porter, they say he lead in with his head. Well, he didn't lead in with his head here. He was bobbing and weaving, which you're supposed to do, Now, I'm not faulting Errol Spence but when you look at the continuity, Errol Spence wasn't trying to block him or keep his head down because his head was going to come in and butt him. That was not the reason. Even though Errol Spence still got a cut, I'm still not sure if it was a headbutt. I think it was a headbutt. But they said it wasn't a headbutt. So I'm not too sure how he got that cut. I'm still going to look back and see. Somewhere in the 5th or 6th or 7th round, somewhere there. Sean Porter did some excellent work in the 7th round and 8th round, 4th round and 3rd round. He had some really great work. Um, Joe 56984 says, sad news. Former super welterweight contender Vanis Martirosyan has been arrested on a domestic violence charge. Oh, yeah, that is sad. He's a hell of a boxer. But this is something that is kind of endemic to boxers. You know, people started talking about Floyd Mayweather, but you know, throughout long history, to great fighters like Arturo Gatti, great fighters like the Venezuelan fighter who I can't remember